Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm not feeling my best, but still wanted to make sure I get a video out there. I've got a project video for you today around some of the work that I've done for the Mini-Z Buggy that I got. So there again, just a RC car similar to the Mini-Z all-wheel drive that I had posted about before, but I got the brushless version. It's a lot of fun to drive, but its turning radius is not that great. And that was one of the things that spurred a lot of this on, was the turning radius with the rubber tires. So the tires that are on it are just a rubber tire that goes on top of it, on top of this hub, and they're spongy. They're nice and shock absorbent in a way for it to be able to land and jump and do kind of stunts and things like that. But I'm used to how my Mini-Z all-wheel drive kind of is able to drift, and so I wanted something with some slick tires. Well, that's where I created these tires that I also designed the hub for. The cool thing about the hub is that I made it to where it will actually work with the rubber tires as well. So I'm posting that on printables to, if you want to ever print it in any color you want, you can, and use the standard wheels that you already have. The actual tires themselves, I modeled them to be similar to the rubber tires, but they're meant to be printed in TPU. They're the same diameter as the stock tires, so except for they're slicker on hardwoods. So I'm able to kind of drive it and drift it. I can get it to go around a corner, and it doesn't have that massive turning radius. I can actually get it to flip around. Making that led me down a rabbit hole, because then I found my Lego tires that I have that are just stored in the garage, and I was like, could I use those on this? And so I modeled a hub for the Lego tires to be able to test them out, and got them to work. The hub works with any of the 18 millimeter diameter Lego tires. So there's a few different ones that it works with. My favorite ones are these that are like oversized, because they actually reach out over the hub. And the thing that I did with them though is I actually reversed them. The thing about the design of the original tires for the Mini-Z is that it goes over all the steering mechanics, so the tires can kind of sit really flush to the body. But when you're designing rims that for Lego, you can't do that, because that's an 18 millimeter diameter, much smaller than the standard hub was. So I wanted to set those tires in a little bit. Well, I can't do it on the hub itself, but I can reverse the tires and have them to where they sit a little closer to the body, make it to where it's not so wide stance. With those being reversed, it's not a full rubber tire like some of the other tires that they do. It has the air gaps in it. And so I was like, I've seen those tires that are like the airless tires. I was like, can I make one of those? Can I make an airless tire? And through a few iterations, I did. I achieved an airless tire that has some squish to it. It's not as spongy as the stock tires by any means, because this TPU is pretty hard, but still, they work. The buggy drives just fine, and it was a lot of fun designing these. Went through a few iterations. I had too many fins in there in this version. Then I went to another version, still had a few too many fins, and the outer tire was still too thick. Wanted to make sure I added one of the steps along the path here. So I designed the drift rims or drift wheels that I did, and I made a locking mechanism into that hub and the tire itself. Well, I needed to use that again when I got down to the Lego hub as well, because I used the same Lego hub, but it's actually a different design because the Lego wheels have internal geometry that is in the same axis as the wheel. So the TPU wheels would just spin on it. And so the buggy, it would spin the wheels because it has so much torque, but not actually get, like it's two surfaces that are trying to actually make contact with each other to actually drive the vehicle. So I added that same geometry I had used from the original drift wheels that I made to alter that wheel. So the airless wheels do not work with Lego, and those hubs do not work with Lego because those geometries are just so different. So I wanted to make sure that that was said. I missed getting that in the first take. And so then I finally achieved the one that I'm calling final, and the one I'm actually going to post is this version that it's got 10 spokes to it and will compress pretty easily. You never know where a project's going to take you. I was just trying to design some wheels for this buggy to be able to drift, but then it has spiraled into just all kinds of different wheel designs, and I liked the design, being able to make it work with the Lego tires. Those would be great for like being able to run it outside or in a space where there's just plenty of space to roam. But those rubber tires are really grippy, and so the turning radius issue came back. Especially you've got a wider stance on the vehicle, it doesn't turn as sharply. So I like the tires that I have now. I'll probably run these for a little while, see how they hold up. But I am going to go ahead and post them, and feel free to use them and print them if you like. Have fun with it if you do anything with Mini-Zs. But I'll cover one additional thing. One side effect is the hub for the Mini-Z Buggy is actually the same as the hub for the Mini-Z all-wheel drive. The inner geometry right there. So the Lego hubs actually work on the Mini-Z all-wheel drive. So technically you can use them on there. There's just not a body that would fit over them well. But I've driven it that way, and it's fun to have that grippy all-wheel drive. You can get it to skid pretty easily, but it does have a lot more grip, so it can be fun if that's something you want to do. I'll post it in that way as well, but it'll be a link in the description below. Thanks for tuning in to another project share out. If you do choose to print them, I hope you have fun with them. Let me know any feedback you have. Thanks for tuning in, and catch you in the next one.